Hey guys, Terry requested a trade. What do we think?
Don't care.
Don't care.
Welcome back to the show. I'm Rob. I'm here with Mike and Joe. This is the Hogs, Hops, and Hope podcast. Hot takes, cold beer, zero credentials. Thanks for checking in with us. We've got a continue booth. Yeah. See, I'm on a roll already. It's been one of those days.
What are you drinking over there, Rob? Goodness.
Well, funny you should ask. I got Mission Brewery out of San Diego, California. This is the Shipwreck Double IPA, 9.25% alcohol by volume.
And
so
it's a little shipwrecked already.
I'm shipwrecked already. It's a little more IPA than I normally like, but I'll drink it.
You'll handle it better than myself.
What do you guys got over there?
Go ahead, Joe.
I just Old Reliable Miller Lite. I didn't have time to run out and grab anything today.
That's all right. Life happens.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I've got a Honor Brewing Dress Blues. So Honor Brewing is a veteran-owned brewery right here in Sterling, Virginia, and this is a blueberry lemon wheat beer inspired by you, Joe, and your wheat beer kick. When
How
you're
is
here, I go IPA. When you're not here, I go blueberry lemon wheat beer.
I see how it is. I see how it is.
It's good. I like it. It's not. I always worry with something like this that it'll be too sweet, but it's not at all. It's got good hint of blueberry and lemon. You can taste both flavors. It's good. I like it.
Joe, didn't you have a blueberry beer a while back?
Yeah, they weren't they? I had 2 blueberries in a row.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they were good.
All right. Look at us and our fruity beers. Yeah, this is how we get our vitamin C through our beers, right?
Absolutely.
Right. Well, we're still in the slow part of the off season here. It's well, I guess depends on how you want to look at it. So today, Washington was up in New England for a joint practice with the Patriots. This is ahead of the preseason game that is tomorrow, and they had a nice little practice there. Apparently everyone did really, really well. And depending on who you ask or who you talk to, either New England dominated the practice or Washington dominated the practice. So I'm really not sure. And I also don't care.
Right. Sorry, Rob, just to correct you. The game was actually Friday night.
Oh yeah. Sorry. My days are off. See,
that's all right. Just
remember, Joe, I'm shipwrecked. So I carved one too many notches in the tree. Drink for screwing up.
Well, let's not make.
Oh man, if we did that every time,
yeah, hook me up with an IV. Okay, so the game is Friday. It's in 2 days, but the joint practice did happen today. That yes, I am sure of. I think I don't want to say the biggest story, maybe the funniest story or interesting story, or how you want to look at it. Like it was, this is how exciting the joint practice was. The fact that a lot of the Washington media kept pointing out that Jason Tatum was there. Exactly, right? And you're thinking, who the hell is Jason Tatum? But for those of you that don't,
it's exactly what I was thinking.
He plays for the Boston Celtics, and so he was at the practice. But anyway, cool. There were 2 little skirmishes. One was kind of minor. The second was a little bit more involved. That the Patriots coach Mike Vrabel got involved with and got a little bloodied. As my brother used to say, you're not doing it right unless you're getting blood on your hands. So I guess Coach Vrabel's doing it right. But that's it. I don't know if you guys cared that there was a joint practice, or if you read anything about it, or if you want to add anything to it or anything like that.
Well, I read a few things about it. It's practice. It's when players are supposed to be learning. They're supposed to be screwing up. They're supposed to be getting better and trying new things. And who cares? I don't care. I don't care.
Okay, so we're at the I don't care part of the
I
podcast
don't
today.
care.
Correct.
We got there pretty
Where I'm
quick
at.
today.
I mean, look, I'm sure there's benefits to the team, but I don't care. That doesn't do nothing for me.
All right then. So going along the I don't care and things that are kind of irrelevant. There were 7 commanders that did not make the trip. Terry McLaurin and Sam Cosme, who are both on the PUP list, they didn't go, so obviously they weren't going to play regardless. So because they're on the PUP list, and then Marcus Mariota, Noah Brown, Jordan McGee, Brandon Coleman, and Javante Jean Baptiste didn't make it. So Mariota's been dealing with a little lower leg strain apparently. So he hasn't been taking a lot of reps during practice, and it makes sense that he didn't go up and get any time in the joint practice, and he wouldn't be playing in the game on Friday anyway. So it's just fine that he's not there. But do we have any concerns that our backup quarterback has a lower leg strain a few weeks before the start of the season? Do we
No,
care about that at this point?
We got our GQ model as another backup, right? What's his name?
him?
Hartman.
Sam Hartman?
Sam Hartman. There was pictures of him floating around with his long locks and
Yeah. He's he and Josh Johnson are the other 2 backup quarterbacks. And apparently they're expected to get a lot of all of the playing time against New England in the preseason game. So,
which is the reason to not be concerned about Marcus right now, because he wouldn't have been playing. So, like, if he's dealing with something, there's no reason for him to go. So I'm not going to worry about it yet.
Right. Leave him in aspirin, let him recover. Just keep recovering, and he'll be fine.
Yeah.
Okay. So the only other thing that I saw of note this week was the team released their first unofficial depth chart for the season. And of course so that came from the team. But one thing I saw from some of the fans and maybe 1 or 2 of the media is people have already started trying to predict the 53-man roster. Which to me is like picking the 64 team field or 68 team field for the NCAA basketball tournament. If you even know what basketball is, you could probably pick 55 of the 68 teams just by looking at records and be good. And I think it's the same thing with trying to pick the 53 people who are going to make the roster. We could probably sit here and pick 45 of them and be right. There's probably 8 to 10 spots that are really open, if at all that many.
I did see that number 5 kid, he's got a really good chance of making this team.
Maybe, assuming he doesn't get hurt.
Knock on wood.
He'll still be on the team.
So speaking of which, yes, that number 5 kid was listed as as QB1, and not a surprise move, with the aforementioned Marcus Mariota as number 2, and Josh Johnson was listed as 3, and Sam Hartman as 4. There's not a whole lot of stock to put in that. One of those guys will probably be cut unless Sam Hartman ends up on the practice squad and Josh Johnson goes to the 3rd quarterback. The one of the things I don't think we'll make a big deal out of this, but there are people that will make a big deal out of this, and that's the fact that Bill, you guys mentioned Bill earlier, he's listed as the 5th running back right now, behind B-Rob, Brian Robinson, Eckler, Jeremy McNichols, Chris Rodriguez, and then Bill. But
I love that it's just Bill.
It's just Bill.
What's his name? It's not like Will or
Corey Krosky Merritt.
How in the heck do you get Bill from that?
Well, he's told this story a few times, and
okay.
At some point, I don't know if it was high school or college or whatever, but he looks like this cartoon character that is named Bill. No, not Mr. Bill, but some cartoon character that I don't know because I'm old.
You're
Uh,
old.
and he looks like that character, and he embraced it. That's what he wants to go by. That's what he tells people to call him. You know, but if you're not paying attention and you don't hear that, and you go up to someone, you say, yeah, he'll make the team, he's gonna be a great running back, and people are like, who's that? I want the other guy. What about Shakur Krosky Merritt or wherever? He's got to make the team. And that's what you just say, shut it. Shipwrecked.
I will say this. There was one, I saw a couple of articles talking about the O line, and Tunsil was just manhandling people. And I know it's practice and it's not a big deal, but it was kind of cool to see. You know, he was doing his job, and then our rookie that we drafted in the first round on the right side, he was handling business as well. It sounded like so. You know, obviously way too early to tell, but it feels like it's nice to see that coming out, even if it is early. That information coming out.
Well, yeah, I always want people to play well. I don't care if it's practice or a scrimmage or what have you.
Well, I just mean specifically the O line because of how
Yes.
crappy it was last year. So it's cool to see that.
Well, the unofficial depth chart has Andrew Wiley starting at right tackle with Connerly as his backup. So we'll see how that plays out. I can't remember if I mentioned this last week or not, but I think the right tackle position is going to be like left tackle was last year, where Coleman and Lucas kind of both played. They both, even in the same game, they both played. They rotated in and out, and I could see that happening this year with Connerly and Andrew Wiley until Connerly really gets established, and then he may take over the back half of the season. Time will tell. Maybe when Cosme comes back. I don't know. I don't really know if Cosme plays a factor into that, but I could see that playing out the same way. And if that's the case, then that's great. And let Connerly build his confidence as he builds his game. But I don't think there were any other surprises on this depth chart. Noah Brown was the second receiver. KJ Osborne was third or fourth. Michael Gallup and KJ Osborne were listed as the backups to the starting receivers, which I don't know if that's really a surprise, other than the fact that, didn't they draft a wide receiver last year? McCaffrey. That's the interesting thing to me, is no one seems to really be talking about McCaffrey this year. It's almost as if he doesn't exist.
Oh, I've actually seen his name a few times in the news, and
Well,
mostly positive
I guess
things.
we're
But
reading different things.
why? Okay, I just see it being mentioned and them saying like, oh, maybe he's got a
I'm
a
not
good
saying
chance
you're
this year.
wrong, but when I hear,
It sounds like you are.
well, so when I see when I'm reading articles and they're talking about what might happen if he who shall not be named is not there for week 1, and who would step up as a wide receiver, everyone keeps talking about how we have to remember that Deebo Samuel is not a number 1 receiver, which no one has ever said except for the people who keep telling you that he's not. And then Noah Brown, but he's always injured, so you can't really count on him as a number 1. And then the next person they mention is Jalen Lane, and they never mention McCaffrey in that conversation. So that's my point. It's not that he's never mentioned at all, but like I would hope I would hope he's ready to step up this year. That regardless of whatever happens with the rest of the wide receiving core, I think McCaffrey's going to be on the team. It's time for him to step up. Was he a 3rd-round draft pick last year? He should be producing something.
Well, don't they have him ahead of Lane in their unofficial depth chart.
Yeah, the team does, but
Yeah.
when again, when I'm seeing reports, no one's talking about him in that aspect of they say that if so and so is missing, then this wide receiving core is not that great unless you're going to have to get more from Debo, but he's not a number one. You're going to have to get more from Noah Brown, but he's always injured. You're going to have to hope that Jalen Lane produces in his rookie year, and we just have to hope and hope and hope. Hence, hogs hoping, hogs hopping hope. But they don't mention McCaffrey as part of that group, or that when they're mentioning the players that would have to step up or that
Yeah.
fill in the gaps.
It's tough though. It feels like with the receivers, there's, the obvious big story that we won't talk about, he who won't be named, that takes a lot of press on the wide receiver core. And then Debo, because he's new and there's expectations, a lot of talk around him. So I just don't know if I don't know. I'm not going to read anything into that if no one talking about McCaffrey other than there's other stuff going on that's more interesting.
Right.
Well,
that's fair.
Is there anything more interesting going on right now?
No.
well, look,
we got football to watch on Friday. I'm excited. It's going to be terrible. It doesn't matter. It's irrelevant, but burgundy and gold is going to be on the field.
Well, make sure you have a roster pulled up, because you're not going to know who any of the people are who are playing. You're not going to know their
I don't
jersey
have to.
number.
I don't have to. They're not going to be on the team when the season starts. So
No,
it
that's
doesn't
the
matter.
third preseason game. The third preseason game is the game. That's where you're battling for the final roster spot. That's when you're going to have, there's going to be 40 people that play or whatever, 35 people that are going to play battling for 10 spots. That's the third preseason game. The second preseason game, we'll get a little bit of the starters. That's when that number 5 kid will play a little bit, and we'll get some of those offensive linemen and all that. But I think we'll be a lot of backups this week.
I was going to say, have they come out with who's going to be playing, who's starting this week?
I haven't seen anything. If they have,
okay, I haven't either.
They may not even know. Because the people that were doing the joint practice today were the expected starters.
right.
That number 5 kid was playing the offensive line. Tunsil was playing. Wiley was playing. Coleman wasn't there. Biotis, they were all playing. So I think that's more. Ertz was playing. The defensive line, all those new guys were all playing. Trey Amos was playing in the defensive secondary. Lattimore was playing. All those guys were playing in the joint practices, and I think that's more of. We talked about this when we first started doing this. I think that's something we talked about was how the joint practices are better. The teams, the coaches, the personnel guys feel that the joint practices are better for evaluating players than the preseason games. And that's where the starters would get their reps and stuff like that. So, but other than that, I mean, there's really there. I mean, I looked to see if anybody had posted anything of note, and no, I just there didn't seem to be anything. Apparently, Tunsil got called for one holding penalty today. I guess we should get used to that. Since he always seems to have a penalty, but apparently, per John Keim, he said the passing game today largely consisted of hitting Zach Ertz over the middle with Debo Samuel and Eckler typically the other targets. They did talk to Morgan Moses. Morgan Moses plays for the Patriots now, and as you remember, he played for Washington a number of years ago, and he was saying something about how now sorry, John posted a video, so I didn't have that. I thought he was going to post some comments, but Now that Washington has a coach they can really play for, so I guess he didn't really care for Gruden. I think that's who he played for. But yeah, Bon Jovi was at the practice today as well, so there's big news. I mean, that's
yeah. No,
you know who Bon Jovi is, Joe, right? I mean, I understand if you don't know who Jason Tatum is, but you got to know who Bon Jovi is.
How did you not
Yes,
lead?
yes, I do. Yeah, I do.
Just seeing if any of the other reporters posted anything.
I've seen a couple things. People reporting on Jaden, or that number 5 kid, as you guys are calling him. Sort of his discipline and the way he's applying it to others, and his attitude of, you show up, you're ready to play, you're no bullshit going on here. He'll throw a guy out of a huddle, like that's
We're getting a false start. Yep.
yeah, that's encouraging. I mean, that's some leadership stuff that from a second year players, impressive.
Maybe we need him for the podcast.
Keep us disciplined and on point. No, but then he would give us some credentials.
No, that's there's everyone was saying kind of the same thing, just nothing really overly exciting. No one had anything of note, I guess, is and then the only other news that I can think of that happened this week and it's not necessarily team related, and some of it's not even, well, some of it is NFL. So one thing, the NFL banned teams from giving smelling salts or ammonia packets to players to wake them up before game or during halftime and stuff like that. The players can still take it, but the team's just not allowed to administer that. And if you're wondering what that is, if anybody's ever watched hockey or specifically the Caps, you see Alex Ovechkin, he gives you one of those things right before he goes on the ice. So that's always good. So that was some news, I guess, for the league. And then the other news that came out, I don't know, Joe, you probably saw this. Mike, you might not have, but the NFL has made a deal with ESPN, and ESPN is what was it? They're going to give 10% of ESPN to the NFL in exchange for like they're going to
the NFL Network.
ESPN's going to get the Red Zone channel
and the NFL Network
and the NFL Network. Yeah, which I thought was kind of interesting, because I would think that that's all these Major League Baseball, the NBA, the NFL, they all created, even the NHL, they all created their own network so they could control content that way.
Yep.
And for the NFL to give that up, that seems a little odd to me. I don't know if you guys saw that or if you care about that at all in any way, shape, or form.
I saw it. I care very little about it. One thing that was interesting is that it will be neat that the Red Zone, my understanding is the Red Zone channel will be available on ESPN Plus. So that's kind of cool. And you wouldn't have to have Sunday Ticket for that, I believe. But you might have to have there. I think I saw something about there may possibly be another tier to ESPN Plus to be able to get that as well.
Well, ESPN is coming out with a new service that is different than ESPN Plus. I forget what it's called, but it's basically like subscribing to a Peacock or a Paramount Plus or Disney Plus, in that you subscribe to this, you get all of ESPN's content. Like when you subscribe to ESPN Plus, you don't get ESPN or ESPN2 or ESPN News. You're getting all the stuff that they don't show on those channels. This news service that they're offering will carry ESPN, ESPN2, ESPN News. I think all the stuff you get on ESPN Plus, and I think that's what that's going to be part of.
That's a guess
on my part. I'm sorry.
did I see there was gonna be like $30 a month for that?
I think so. Yeah.
That's outrageous.
But the other thing that ESPN is going to be adding to that was just announced today is they're getting all the WWE content, all their pay-per-view stuff. So WrestleMania, SummerSlam, their Money in the Bank. I know you guys are big WWE fans and you know exactly what I'm talking about. But all these things are currently on Peacock. And so it's part of the Peacock package, all the pay-per-views. You can always subscribe to, you can always order them separately. But if you have Peacock, you get all of the WWE pay-per-view stuff. That's going to be going to ESPN now as part of that new $30 a month package. So that's part of, I guessing, how they're going to justify that price.
That's
It
a
almost
lot.
makes sense though, because sometimes I'll tell you, I have YouTube TV, and I would say probably 70% of the time, the only reason I have that is to watch ESPN stuff so I can watch college football. And if I can cancel YouTube TV and have just this ESPN package thing and still get all those channels and all that, I might be able to save myself a little bit of money.
Okay.
I mean, I just have to rely more on a digital antenna and go back to the way we used to watch TV, which was if there's a show on network TV that I want to watch at 8 o'clock, I got to be on the couch at 8 o'clock to watch it. First world problems.
Yeah, I'll be curious to see how this affects me because I have Hulu Live TV,
Okay.
which has a lot of the, I mean, I get ESPN Plus with it too, but has all that ESPN stuff. So I'll be curious to see what that does for me.
Yeah, they announced ESPN announced this package some time ago. I don't know when it's going to be live though, but it sounds like they're trying to now line up content for it to justify charging $30 a month for it. Because $30 a month just to get ESPN, ESPN2, ESPN News, and ESPN Plus seems a bit of a stretch for me.
Yeah, but you can also get it bundled with Disney Plus and Hulu with ads for $36 a month. So suddenly, a lot of households can justify that that price
But I
point
think
for
I'm
that
only
bundle.
I have Disney Plus, Hulu, and ESPN Plus, and I think it's only like $15 a month for
It,
those three services. So now you're talking another $20 on top of that just for ESPN, which
well, so you're right, Joe, because I used to have that same bundle. Because originally I had Hulu and ESPN Plus, and I forget what that was, but when I added Disney Plus to that, it only cost $1 more, which made sense to
Yeah.
me. Uh,
sure.
but uh, you know, in over time, I realized I didn't really watch anything on Disney Plus, and I didn't watch a whole lot of things on Hulu, quite honestly. So I dropped both of them and just paid for ESPN Plus. If you know, if this is, I didn't. I didn't intend to go down this rabbit hole, but I think it's a fair conversation because this affects how we watch all these things. You know, we talk about Sunday Ticket. I just renewed my Sunday Ticket. That's costing me a couple $100 a year. Uh, is you know what does anybody even need streaming anymore? In that, when I say streaming, I mean, Mike, you had Hulu Live. I have YouTube TV. I used to have Sling. Are those things going to go bye-bye? And it's just you subscribe to Disney Plus and Paramount Plus and Peacock Plus, and then you can watch those. That covers your three major networks: NBC, CBS, and ABC. Uh, and I think Hulu probably covers some things from Fox and the CW if you want to watch those shows as well. Uh, you know, and obviously Peacock has things like Bravo and all of those. CBS has MTV stuff and all the other family of Paramount stuff. I think the Peacock has things like Hallmark Channel and etc. But I think all this is changing, and I don't like the fact that ESPN is becoming a bigger and bigger player in all this because, quite frankly, I don't think ESPN is very good, and I don't think they do a very good job with stuff. But that's just me.
I mean, I'll say that this has been an ever evolving thing. I mean, if you think about this conversation similarly, I don't know how many years ago, it was back when people had cable for the most part. And it was are we gonna go to all these individual streaming services and get rid of cable? And then you had you got your YouTube Live and now Hulu Live and those the I, I mean, I guess we'll see. Someone smarter than us, definitely smarter than us, needs to go look at all the different what do you get from a YouTube Live compared to packaging out all the different things? Because they don't all have live TV, so is that important? Things like that. So I don't know. It's a
Well,
little
that's
frustrating.
but let me ask you all this because it's funny. I still watch network TV, and I feel like I'm the only one of people I know who watches network TV, and by that I mean NBC, ABC, and CBS. Do or I'll throw in Fox for that matter. Do you all? And I don't know what shows you all watch, but do you watch network TV at all?
I mean, yeah, I watched some stuff on there.
Very rarely. I have a digital over-the-air antenna, so I'll turn something on every once in a while.
But do you even as far as like watching local news or anything, do you watch any of that?
Nope.
I mean, because
If I need to put something on in the background and
yeah,
the news is on, maybe.
that's what I mean. But is you don't need a package streaming service such as a YouTube TV if you can, YouTube TV right now I think is 80. It's over $80 a month. I know that. But if I'm already paying for Paramount Plus and Peacock, and that's covering, I don't know, probably at least 50% of the channels that I get on YouTube TV. Why do I need YouTube TV?
Do they show things live? I mean, so if like Peacock, does it show
Some
something
things,
that's
yes.
on
Some things, yes. And same with Paramount Plus. Paramount Plus, you can get the local affiliates. I think their news is always live. And I think I'm not sure about Peacock, but with Paramount Plus, I can get the local LA CBS affiliate, and watch that live through Paramount Plus.
Peacock, bringing it back to football, actually does have Sunday Night Football on there live.
On Peacock.
Yeah, so through the Peacock app
Okay.
or service, you can watch Sunday Night Football.
Okay. So okay. So you get that. So, but that's also on. I can watch that with the digital antenna.
Yes, you can. Yeah.
So I don't need to pay for that. And that's been my dilemma over the last couple of years is I gotta have Sunday tickets so I can watch Washington games. But now
Yeah.
I have to have Sunday ticket, and I have to have Amazon and
ESPN versus Monday Night Football.
Yeah. So I have to have a streaming service so I can get ESPN for that. You're correct. And then I can't even remember what am I leaving out? Netflix. Does Netflix have any NFL games yet?
Yeah, they have Christmas Day.
Yeah.
And aren't we playing on Christmas Day? I forget.
I thought we were.
Yeah. So I have to now subscribe to Netflix. So I'm already paying hundreds of dollars to get Sunday ticket, but that won't even give me the games that are on Netflix or Amazon or anything like that. I mean, that's a big rabbit hole I'd go down. That would be a Rob's rant right there. But this is
it's going to be a pain in the ass. And then if you want to add another factor, since preseason's right around the corner, the only way to watch preseason guaranteed games on preseason, I think, is you have to have the NFL Plus app or something like that.
Whatever that service is from, it is from the NFL. I forget what it's called, but you get all the
assuming you're not local, of course. So it's like the amount of services and the amount of money you have to spend just to ensure that you can watch every single game is ridiculous.
Yeah.
I'm not necessarily, I don't have a problem spending the money necessarily, but I want to be guaranteed that it's like I get every game.
Right.
And that's when, like, the ESPN Plus with NHL pisses me off because I'm not guaranteed to get my games. And it's like, this is where you get all your games from, but it's like, oh, if it's on TNT or if it's on, ESPN, it's not on the ESPN Plus. And it's like, well, why do you say that you have every game? Or they don't. They say we've got 1,600 games. And it's like, well, that's great.
Well, you're still blocked out for not blocked out, but blacked out for local teams. Like, I'm a Caps fan, obviously. And so you mentioned ESPN Plus. If the Caps are playing the Kings or the Ducks, I don't think I can watch those games. I know that's how it is for baseball still. But I think there's only one solution to this, at least as far as we're concerned. And that is, we need to buy a bar and subscribe to all these things, and then it just becomes a write-off.
Okay.
That is not what I was going to say, but I like that idea.
Love it. That's a good shipwrecked idea.
Hey, what?
That's what we'll call the bar. Shipwrecked.
What better than a podcast called Hogs, Hops, and Hope to be done at a bar?
I'm sold.
Do a weekly live show
Gross.
while we own the bar. Is that the name of the bar too?
No.
Not
Well,
bad.
we'd have to come up
It's
with
not a
something
bad
better for
name,
the
actually.
bar.
It's actually not a bad name for a bar.
It doesn't flow for a bar name, I don't think.
Just serve barbecue.
Well, I mean, that would be a given. There would have to be some barbecue.
Yeah, so I think we're onto something here.
All right, we may have gotten off track here.
Listen, I'm out of beer. I think it's time to call it quits.
Probably wrap this up before.
Well, we said there was nothing else to talk about. We had to come up with something. Sorry that
Next
I
week,
brought up. I
we-
brought up news that involved the NFL.
We can preview. Next week is going to be outstanding. There's real football to report on.
It's not real football.
It's not real football.
Yeah.
There's NFL football. There's future CFL football players to report on. And
We got to cover the CFL combine. Is that what it is? All right. Well, I think that is a good place to wrap it up, especially since we did a really good job today of not talking about he who shall not be named, nor the position that shall not be named. So I salute us for that. And I think we'll call it a show. So as always, thanks for tuning in and watching and listening. If you're watching us on YouTube, please click subscribe and link. You can link it to your friends, but click like while you're at it. And if you're listening to us on a podcast, an actual podcast through Apple Podcasts or Spotify, we appreciate that as well. Everything that you do supports our fragile. Anyway, thanks for tuning in, and we will see you next week when we will talk about God knows what. Bye.
Kickers.